Welcome back to ET Now Startup Central, India's only daily show dedicated to entrepreneurship, technology and innovation. Moving on from the heavy-headed discussion around angel tax to a fund that all startups must keep an eye on, Samsung has really made four investments in the startup space here from their venture fund in India. And joining me is Dr. Alok Nath, CTO of Samsung R&D, really from Bangalore, to sort of take the conversation forward and what startups should do to pitch them right. So thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us on ET Now. I want to understand what really took you so long to bring Samsung Ventures here in India. You've backed about 4 startups last month, really, but why now, really?
Samsung Venture, as you know, it's Samsung's investment arm, and it has been operating since '99 in different countries, from South Korea to US to UK, Israel, China, Japan. And now here we are talking about investment in India, in Indian startups. And over time, it has invested over $2.2 billion. And I think your question has been, why now? It's not late. The way we have seen how we have been operating here for last 23 years, and over time we have made sure our own deliveries are straightened out, our own in-house innovation is in place, and then we jumped onto open innovation. So I'll start up maybe later a little bit on how we did our open innovation. But very frankly, why now? We see the Indian startup ecosystem is quite a lot maturing. We see that deep tech companies are coming. We see many hyper-local service companies. They have been very successfully progressing. Government initiatives on startups, Startup India, Stand Up India, those kinds of initiatives are definitely fueling the growth of the startup community. There are a lot of VCs. And at the same time, we do see exits are happening. This last year itself, 250 plus exits that has happened. So I think from that standpoint, external ecosystem standpoint, I see we are kind of ready, and it's a right time. It's a ripe time to get into this investment. Also simultaneously, when I look into our inside story, as I was telling, with this first 10, 15 years, we have delivered many products to our global Samsung entity. We've built credibility. Instead of just that commercialization, we started looking into the architectural part and how to go to market. So the whole research to market journey we have built over time. And even from that angle, I think it's a very right time to integrate our own solutions along with the startup.
Well, interesting. We're glad that you're back and investing in the startup ecosystem and how. But talk to us about the investment philosophy. How different or same would it be to the global playbook? Because you do have close more than $2 billion of assets under management. And the plan, I understand, is to back 100 startups really here in India?
Yes, I think the philosophy stays the same. We are looking into early stage to growth stage startups. Only difference is in this particular scheme of things, we are looking into startups that are operating in India and some of the solutions that could be beneficial for Indian consumers. Now, going into, yes, the press release talked about how we can go up to 100 investments. We talked about our 5-year roadmap, what are the kind of technologies we are looking into it, and also each of these investments could be of the order of $1 to $5 million. So the first set of investment that we announced 4 of the companies. One of them is called OS Labs, and they are building App Bazaar. And Samsung Galaxy App Store people are using globally, but we wanted to make sure that it is very meaningful in India context, and with the help of OS Labs, which is also known as Indus OS in some other context, we are looking into their solutions and how to enrich these app stores with their 400,000 of apps that's going into 12 different Indian languages, taking it forward. The second,
all right, 4 startups that Samsung has backed, but could you break it down for us in terms of a checklist as far as sectors are concerned? What is it that you want to invest in? Should it really complement the products and services that Samsung has? So for entrepreneurs really watching this and reaching out to you, know that they're doing it in the right manner.
So again, if I take maybe 4-step approach, first of all is the domain. Samsung is vast, and we are looking into companies in AI and IoT and blockchain and security dimensions, in voice visual intelligence, in terms of InsurTech, in terms of health tech, services dimension that I talked about. So first of all, it should be a cutting-edge technology, and you should have a core IP that helps for yourself and for the company a big entry barrier for that matter, or a value add to that extent. So that is first, to get the domain right. The second dimension is typically that's any investment would look for a due diligence, who the team members are, being led by who, how long they have been working, what have been their credentials in the past, what solutions have they built. That's the present standing that I would like to talk about. The third dimension is about the solution, the richness of the solution, the degree of testing that has been done, where has been deployed, how can you bring it more features to that solution. So that richness of the solution is definitely very important, and definitely fitment to our product lines, as I mentioned earlier. And the last part of it is the roadmap ahead, how your solution is future ready, or how you can combat challenges in the future, what kind of utilization of the fund that you are planning. So I think this is the future roadmap that we would like to understand and hopefully help them to grow along that path. So these are 4 steps I would like to say.
Thank you so much. Interesting takeaways. Another new fund to watch out for Samsung Ventures, really. Moving on to my favorite